How you guys doing? Welcome back to SB2 Faded 2. All Giants fans, I know there's a lot of you out there. Big Blue, it looks like you just found your new head coach in Pat Shurmur, the current offensive coordinator of the Minnesota Vikings. We know this is a big time for him because yesterday's game was completely insane. When the Vikings, Case Keenum has a chance to just win the game, just throws up a prayer, and we saw Stephon Diggs win the game. Now, obviously, that play is not what you usually expect, but give Pat Shurmur a lot of credit for having the guts to call it. And really all season long, we think about Pat Shurmur has really helped this offense. Lost Sam Bradford in week 1. Had a good game in week 1, was 27 for 32, and got NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Then he had to turn to Case Keenum, who had a solid year this season. A lot of people thought that Case Keenum, he's pretty much garbage, not a good quarterback, and just a backup. We think about how he played for the Houston Texans, came from Houston College, not really expecting much. I believe he was a 7th-round pick. But in Minnesota, Pat Shurmur has made him into something special. Not saying he's an elite quarterback or anything like that, but he's been pretty solid to go along with a pretty great defense. And the Vikings lost Dalvin Cook early in the season, still have Latavius Murray, and have made things work. So Pat Shurmur, definitely a quality offensive coordinator. Was also the interim offensive coordinator last year for the Vikings, as well as the tight ends coach. He's been a head coach before. Remember, he coached for Cleveland a couple years ago. That was back in the Colt McCoy days, back in 2011, I believe, through 2012. Didn't do good, had like a 4-12 season, as well as a 5-11 season. But really, it's the Cleveland Browns. Nothing ever works for the Browns, so you can't automatically assume that just because things didn't work in Cleveland that they won't work in New York. Now we think about Hugh Jackson. He was a guy who was interested in possibly going to the Giants or to the Browns. Well, this guy actually coached the Browns, and now he's going to the Giants, just to throw that in there. Pat Shurmur, the jury is still out for him. The jury is still out. We're not quite sure how he will work, but as a head coach, offensively speaking, he's good, and the Giants definitely need offense with Eli Manning. What will they do with him? We know Eli Manning wants to be back. The owner wants him to be back, as well as the new general manager, David Gettleman. And we know David Gettleman just got hired, and we know he doesn't like a lot of risky players. Like, you think about Josh Norman. He cut ties with him. So it'll be interesting to see. Will he keep Odell Beckham Jr.? And like I said before, it's almost impossible to get rid of Odell. He's like the face of the team. You think about Eli Apple. Will they keep him in the door? We'll see. We will definitely see. But the Giants, a very talented team, but like we've mentioned in the past, they need an interior. They need an offensive line. They need a defensive line. They still have JPP, who's getting up in age. Will he still be the same as he used to be? We'll definitely see about that. But the New York Giants, bad season last year, really underachievers with Ben McAdoo, who really never really deserved to be a head coach from the beginning. I mean, he always was criticizing his players, coming at them, barking at them. That's not what you want. Very unprofessional. If you're looking for a professional coach, Pat Shurmur will be the man. Now, I'm not saying he'll be very successful in New York. Like I said, the jury is still out. But he will definitely be professional, and that's exactly what you need. Now, again, I just want to add one more point. He was the offensive coordinator for the Eagles under Chip Kelly. I know it fell apart at the end, but it was pretty successful for a while. But if you think about Chip Kelly, he rammed his system down everyone's throat, so you can't even blame Pat Shurmur for that. You can't even blame him for the debacle in Philadelphia. But I will say he was professional through the whole process and never complained in Philadelphia. Give him a lot of credit. He'll become the next head coach for the New York Giants. Thank you guys for watching. Talk to you guys later.